Sharing that, because I think it's key that people understand that you didn't come into this business with a ton of money, a ton of capital. You put in the work and have consistently gotten better. And I mean, you're 10 years into this game and still trying to get better. And that shows a lot about your character, and really the content and the material that you put out, John, has been, it was just been amazing for all of us, to be honest with you. I think that when you're trying to get better, and you hear from somebody with huge experience and went through year 2 or year 3 of the company, I mean, can you kind of elaborate real quick on what that looked like? Because I know you guys didn't have any leads.
Man, dude, I wish I documented it and I could play it back. Like, y'all got the cheat code. And it's like, you know, you hear people go like the walk uphill in the snow both ways stories. Like, that's legit what it was, dude. We had nothing. Sean had nothing in place when we started. He was like, let's start a company. And he started one. There was no carriers. There was no leads. There was no CRM. There was no system. There was no nothing. There was no training. There was nothing. Nothing existed. He put together the TNL back in the day. And like him, Mark, Matt, and Paul were on it every week. That's who it was. I mean, there were a couple handfuls of people, you know, but there was a crazy desire. Now, what I do think is missing today is that ridiculous hunger to make stuff happen with nothing, you know, and that is FFL, dude. They named it the Rogue IMO on purpose. Like, we were not what we are today. Like, y'all see a very different view of what this thing is. And, you know, Sean's vision of this thing, you know, was the initial launch. And then a bunch of us just bought in, you know, and there were people who bought in long before me. Again, I was here, dude, but I was just I was the part-time accountant. That's what they knew me as at the beginning. No one knew me. When they had Killamet would be like, hey, John, da 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 da. Sean be like, John who? Because, you know, the part-time accountant. Like, that was my name for the first year. But yeah, dude, at the beginning, I remember I went to Sean. So in January of 14, it was our first full month in business. And I issued like 1 policy, maybe 2, legit. And I called, I was like ready to quit. So I told someone like, dude, I gotta find something to do. I ain't got no leads, da da da. So someone called Killamet called Sean. We got on a 3-way call, and Sean goes, so I heard you want to let me know we have no leads. He's like, you know, I run the company, right? Yeah. He goes, I know we have no leads, dude. I'm working on it. But what he did at that call was like, give me the vision of what he was trying to do. You know, I wasn't privy to that before. I was just here. And he kind of talked to him about, I mean, he was talking about, dude, $1 billion then, you know, and being the household name then. And we literally didn't have a carrier. There was nothing. Any carrier we got terminated us it was crazy at the beginning. But we legit had no leads. And he's like, dude, I got you. I'm working on it. I'm telling you, this is where we're going to go. We need your help, yada, yada. You know, we're trying to do big things in the industry. And I got you, dude. We're working on it. I'll have a plan for you soon. And he stuck to his word. And funny enough, the first year, bro, I remember like me and Steph, before I say that, me and Steph were looking at this thing and like wondering, is this what we want to do? My wife is Stephanie. So we were like, is this what we want to do? Is this where we want to be? Is this the people we want to associate with? We were unsure, dude, because I wasn't tight with them yet. I was the new guy around. But I remember talking to Steph and we were figuring this thing out. And I remember going, well, Killamet has, and at the time, my youngest was 9 months old when I started in the business. So he was about a little over a year when FFL started. And I remember going, man, we got our kids. This is like our future. And I went, Killamet has 3 girls. He had twin girls and 1 older one. So we had 3 little girls. They were probably, 5 was probably the oldest one at the time. And then Sean had his 2 that he talks about all the time now, but they were young at the time. And I'm like, and they're bought in. If they believe in this enough that it's going to help their families, dude, I believe in that. I believe in their belief. So I'm in. I was like, got it. I'm in, dude. And the first lead type he got me, I think y'all still have them. I don't know. The second chance leads with no image. So we got a spreadsheet, which is names and numbers of someone that filled something out one day, but we didn't have a physical lead. dude, my first year, that's all I wrote. That was it. Just second chance, no image. They were like $6 or $8 or something silly. And, you know, I did okay. I was 175 people or something helped. And, you know, and that was the start of it. You know, first time in my life, I cracked 6 figures. And, you know, at the time, comp was very different. It was definitely low then because the company was starting. And, but again, for me, it was about opportunity and it was about being part of something big. And when I saw their vision, and Kilomet was so bought into what Sean was building, and then obviously learning how tight Mark was and Paul, you start to get to know these guys traveling around all the conferences they were doing. And you know, I was like, I'm 100% in for this ride. And dude, it's been an insane 9 years, and all the resources you're providing to people and telling them to get to, that's how I learned everything. I used to stalk Mark, Matt, Paul, Andrew. Like I would just fly wherever they were going. I'd get there, any event they were at, because at the time, that's all that trained. There weren't 900 VPs or whatever we got today. It was like 8 of them. So every event was the same people. So I used to just go and travel long before they asked me to train on anything. And I would just, I learned that the people with money get there early and they stay late. So I always booked to get there early and stay late. And if Kilomet was going, I would call Kilomet's assistant dude. And I'd be like, hey, what's Kilomet's seat number on his flight? And I would book the seat right next to Mike. So on the flight, I could get time with Kilomet. And then I'd get to the locations early, whether he came or not. And I would just, dude, sit in the lobby and wait for Matt or Mark or Paul to walk around or sit. And I'd walk up to the bar and be like, what's up? Can you mind if I sit? And I would just listen. I didn't open my, dude, I would just listen to them talk. I remember I sat one day with Matt, Paul and Andrew. They were sitting at a bar, like a bar top, eating lunch in a hotel. And I just listened to them strategize, dude. This was 8 years ago. And at the end, I was like, you know, and it just started being around that just stretched my vision, man. And I just put into place what they were offering. And I would always go back and thank them when I was doing, you know, that Matt's like, dude, you got to start asking people about money, you know, and dude, Frankie taught me how to do 25-year cash back. Mark taught me about final expense, and, you know, Paul and Andrew taught me a lot on the mortgage side. And I'd go back and I'd be like, bro, that worked. Thank you so much. Appreciate your help, blah, blah, blah. And I started building relationships with them, dude. And over time, I found ways to add value to their agencies one way or the other. And, you know, today, blessed, man, to be one of the first round of integrity partners. And life is very different. Very, very, very different for my kids and family than it was 8-9 years ago, bro. So
I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think people need to hear that. You have to surround yourself with excellence. You know, we came out of convention fired up after listening to Dave Anderson, and all he would speak about is surround yourself with excellence. And Wetmore is a prime example of that. He would go above and beyond to get around these different people that would take him to the next level. He was humble enough to understand he didn't have it figured out and that he just needed to get around people. And I love that you shared the fact that you would sit right next to Kilomet, because that means you would get an hour or 2 or 3 hours by him to pick his brain apart. And I think that when you say that you've seen this belief in him, you've seen this belief, you've seen the belief in Kilomet, you've seen the belief in Sean, like that's the type of belief that I seen in Jordan. Jordan was talking about this opportunity like it was the best thing cooking. And he breathed life into me about this opportunity. And when you are new in this business and someone is excited and you see the excitement that they're sharing about this opportunity, it's because it's real. That's passion. And that's what you guys need to understand is like how far along we've come in 8-9 years. Like that is what the next 8-9 years is going to look like. We're continuously evolving. I'm going into year 3 of being at Family First Life, and the changes that we've experienced from when I started to where we're at is day and night. So I can only imagine 8-9 years, 10 years into this company, like watching these changes happen. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And I think it's important that the person that brought you into this business, they're not just this hype man or they're overexcited, like they're truly passionate about what this opportunity can do for you. And that's what they're trying to relay that message to you. So, John.